Module 5, Fathers, Control What You Can. Good morning, my relentless fathers. How long have you been trying to control a situation and it didn't work out? In other words, you tried to control others and it didn't get you anywhere. Well, in this module 5, titled Fathers, Control What You Can, we are going to learn that we can only change ourselves. That's the only one that we have control over is oneself. And the return on the investment that we get is predicated on how we show up consistently. Relentless fathers, that's a real question. What have you been trying, or who have you been trying to control that you have become so frustrated? How much energy has that taken from you? I'm frustrated. I'm tired. All because we're trying to control the wrong ones. The court system, we try to control. The past, we try to control. The child's mother, we try to control. And people's reactions to us, we try to control. We wear ourselves down when we are trying to control the external rather than the internal. Today is not about giving up. It's about taking that energy and channeling it into the area that will give you growth, that actually works. The illusion of control. Many fathers believe peace will come when the situation changes. Peace does not come until you make the change, because we got to have peace within ourselves. Other people do not bring us peace. We have to have peace within ourselves. When the custody issue is resolved, peace will come. When communication improves, peace will come. When the other person finally understands, peace will come. Well, let me tell you something. In all of these categories, peace can come, but only when you show up in the right frame of mind, when your emotions are in check. And if they are not, you're going to continue to go through the same situation again and again. But chasing external control creates internal chaos. We kind of lose who we are because we're so focusing on who others are being. We can't focus on ourselves. We can't control ourselves. We can't turn things around. The more you try to control what's on the outside, the less control you feel on the inside. Trying to control everything is the fastest way to lose yourself. Become frustrated. Become confused. That's the quickest way to lose who you are. What matters? What fathers try to control? Now, we're going to talk about some of the things that we try to control here. Fathers often try to control conversations. We have pictured in our mind on how this conversation is going to go. In other words, I'm picturing in my mind on how I'm going to speak, but I'm also picturing how they're going to react. We find out that we become frustrated when the conversations don't go quite that way. Why? Because we're out of alignment. We're not walking in leadership. Many fathers try to control conversation by forcing understanding or agreement. Leaders don't do that. Leaders lead. Leaders encourage. Leaders show up Leaders walk in stability. Leaders are committed. This often leads to frustration and escalation. When you're trying to control the conversation, it's going to lead to escalations of your emotions, and you don't have clarity. Leadership shifts when a father focuses on how he speaks, not how others respond. Lay it down properly and let that take care of itself. The truth will always defend itself. You don't have to do that. You just bring the truth. Outcomes. Father often are fixated on the outcomes they cannot guarantee. You cannot guarantee how an individual is going to react. So why energy? Why become so frustrated that we lose our clarity? When results don't match expectations, discouragement follows. True leadership focuses on effort, consistency, and character, not immediate results. We must stay the course. Reactions. Trying to control others' reactions create emotional exhaustion. Reaction belongs to the other person and are shaped by factors outside of your control. It's not about you. It's about showing up properly. Peace comes from a father governs his own response. That's when peace shows up. When you govern your own response. Not about what other people are saying, but about what you say. Timing. We've got to be able to discern the proper timing of how we show up, of what we say. Many conflicts worsen because poor timing rather than poor intent. You may have great intentions, but your timing is off. It's not the right time. And we should be able to feel the presence. We should be able to understand at a very early stage in the conversation that this is not the right timing. They will give you hints, so we step away. Engaging too early or emotionally increases tension. Wisdom lies in choosing the right moment, not the father's response. Choosing the right moment. Need to understand that the only one that we can trust is ourselves, or control is ourselves. We can't control the other individual. When we try to do that, that's when anxiety, stress, confusion, exhaustion kicks in. Poor timing. Let us monitor the atmosphere, and that will tell us, is it proper to do this? Or maybe I should do it a little later. When those attempts fail, frustration turns into anger. It turns into withdrawal. Withdrawal turns into guilt. Feel guilty about the way things went. And it really didn't have anything to do with you. That individual was in a state or emotional state that where it had nothing to do with you. But because we try to control conversations, we try to control outcomes, we try to control reactions and timing, we end up with guilt. We end up with the guilt because we always are saying, I probably could have done that better. I probably didn't have to pour into a bad emotional situation. So we deal with the guilt. This is not a character flaw. It's not. It is misplaced leadership. Leadership, fathers, that's what you are. You're the leaders of your family. You're the leaders of your children. You are setting the legacy for them to follow. The turning point with fathers is internal control. Here's the truth that sets fathers free. The child's mother, you cannot control. Hello, you cannot control the child's mother. You cannot control the child's mother, her choices or perspectives. Trying to manage another adult's behavior drains emotional energy and creates frustration. Peace begins when leadership is redirected inwardly. When you direct that leadership, that peace within yourself, I am going to get peace. I am going to acquire this peace. I am going to build peace within myself. I've gotten stronger. I've become stronger. I realize that the battle is not mine. I have been given the tools to show up in the proper way, and I must allow them to work. So I can't control. I cannot control the child's mother, her tone. She may talk to you a little harshly, but remember, you're walking in peace. Remember, you're not going to lose your control. Remember, you're keeping the clarity. Why? Because your children want to trust you. Your children want to be able to rely on you. And the only way I can do that is that I cannot be trying to control mom's tone. You cannot control her tone, even when it feels disrespectful or triggering. Trying to draw you into an uncomfortable environment. Get out of your emotions or talk from your emotions. We are now being controlled by those emotions that are not going to do us any good. We cannot control her using disrespectful language. We hope that it doesn't happen, but it does. But we must always remain in peace. Responding calmly protects your position and your peace. Her reactions. You cannot control how she reacts, regardless of how carefully you communicate. We can't control that, relentless fathers. We have to always be coaching ourselves, even in those environments. I don't have to respond. I don't have to respond in a way that's going to bring about an escalation of this emotional environment. I'm not going to do that. You can coach yourself, but you have to learn how and what to coach yourself on and in. You cannot control the things that she may say, and don't even try it. Just walk calmly in your peace and hold your position. We talked about her reactions. You cannot control that, regardless of how careful you may communicate. Reactions are shaped by her experiences. Reactions are shaped by her experiences and emotions. Accepting this prevents you from taking responsibility for what is not yours. When we accept that I can't control her reactions, we realize that the responsibility is not mine. I just need to work on me, being the relentless father that my child needs. Her past behaviors. It is up to you and I not to go in thinking. I remember how it went last time. If I'm focusing on getting stronger, I cannot be reflecting on her past behavior. I need to go in with a renewed energy, with a renewed mindset, with a renewed focus. That's when leadership grows. That's when she will begin to see that you're not showing up the same old way. And eventually, through consistency, that will change. That will change. But we're not concerned about that. We're concerned right now about how you show up. You cannot control her past behavior or rewrite previous conflicts. Carrying the past into present decisions keeps wounds open. We have to deal with our wounds, fathers, our disappointments. We got to deal with that, because if we don't, they say time heals all wounds. No, it doesn't. It matures them. We got to deal with ourselves so that we can get past this. Leadership focuses on who you are right now, not what has already happened. People will try to take you back because they haven't grown, but you stand strong because you have practice, you have discipline, you have clarity on who you are. But you can control your emotions. You can control that. It has nothing to do with the other individual. You need to know who you are before you walk into a situation. See, when we gird ourselves up in the right frame of mind before we ever leave our home, then we are prepared and we understand that adversity may show its ugly face. Conflict will come our way. But when we know who we are, we shake it off. Your emotions belong to you and can be managed with awareness and practice, getting ourselves prepared for battle. They provide information, not direction. When you regulate your emotions, you regain clarity. We talked about that, and control. I'm focused on my beautiful gift. So I got to stand. I got to stand tall. I got to go through the fire, because when I come through the fire, I'm going to be pure. I'm going to be focused. I'm going to be stronger. And my words will carry more weight. Relentless fathers, we must understand what we can control. Your emotions, your tone. You don't have to yell. You don't have to scream. Control your tone. Talk in a cool, calm demeanor. And when you do that consistently enough, believe me, it will become a part of who you are, and the other people who have always tried to drag you down realize that it's just who you are. You use that calm tone because, again, you don't want to deal with the guilt of saying something inappropriate or speaking in a tone that does not bring about love and peace and a calm environment for the children to thrive in. When we speak from a steady tone, it reduces escalation and increases credibility. Your credibility. Because people are looking for credibility. People who remain consistent. Adults look for it, and especially, they may not even understand the tone or understand the definition of the word, but our children look for it because they want to be able to run to someone that they can trust and know that has their best interest at hand. Your timing. We must always be aware of, is it the right time to discuss, have a discussion? Because when we do it in the wrong time, then it's not going to give us the outcome that we hope for. Your timing determines whether communication builds peace or fuels conflict. Waiting until you are regulated protects outcomes. You have to be prepared, fathers, to go into this battle with calmness, with a focus, not confusion that will escalate the the situation. Strategic timing is a form of wisdom, not avoidance. Your boundaries. Set boundaries. You know who you are, you know where you're going, and you're not going to engage in anything that will cross your boundaries, that will take you out of the boundaries that you set. Your boundaries define your behavior. You will engage with and what you will step away from. It's okay to step away from it, fathers. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong. When you can step away from an environment that will take you out of the boundaries that you have set, you are now stepping into that leadership role that the family needs, your children need, that you need. Healthy boundaries protect your peace and your role as a father in focusing boundaries, enforcing boundaries calmly preserve dignity and stability. We don't want to be all over the place when it comes to our beautiful gifts. We want to be steadfast. We want to show up consistently, ready to spend that time with the babies, that quality time that they so desperately deserve and need. Your character, you can't control that. Your character is who you choose to be under pressure. Because I'm keeping the main thing. That's my emotions. I'm keeping those in check. So I got to stay within character, because as soon as someone hears something out of your mouth, I knew that was you. I knew you were no good. It is revealed most clearly in difficult moments. Protecting your character protects your children's future and your legacy. What kind of legacy am I leaving? Am I one that is approachable? Yeah, my dad is always approachable. Am I one that's kicking and turning and screaming? No, my dad, character, was always calm, and his demeanor was always inviting. This is what our children need to see in us, relentless fathers. Your legacy, you're building that. And when a father regains internal control, external chaos no longer grips you. It no longer has control of you. And it frustrates the other individual because they don't know how to break through anymore. You are now the leader. Peace begins the moment I stop chasing control outside of myself. Control yourself. You find peace. Control others, or try to control others, you're in disarray and confusion. But leaders are looking for that peaceful environment that they can control because they showed up in a leadership manner. Inside the Relentless Father's works, we've talked about, or we walk with men through a clear path of awareness, naming how conflict is affecting your mental health. We talk about regulations, learning to respond instead of react. Identity and values, standing on the four pillars. Four pillars, you remember, you're the foundation, you're the wall of protection, you're the lighthouse, and you are the runway. And then tools and strategies, knowing what to say and when to engage. See, when we have the recipe to success, then we need to own up to it and use it. Having tools and strategies. This is how fathers move from survival to leadership. I'm a leader. This is not therapy. This is constant training. I've got to show up. Why motivation isn't enough? Because motivation fades, information fades, and good intentions fades. But systems, and we're going to talk about this now, systems remain. That's why this work doesn't end with a video. Not this video. Transformation requires, here we go, talking about structure here now. Structure gives Father a clear path instead of confusion. We've got to have step-by-step instructions on how we're going to do this thing. We can't be all over the place expecting to find victory. It removes guesswork. It replaces chaos with consistency. We talked about that, showing up every day, practicing every day. Structure creates stability when emotions and circumstances shift. Practice turns good intentions into disciplined habits. You do it long enough, all of a sudden it becomes a part of you. Your discipline talks to you. Your discipline keeps you focused. Repetition builds confidence and emotional strength over time. What is practiced consistently becomes natural. So we got to do it over and over and over. And the more you do it, the better you become, the better you feel, the better you even look. Practice. Accountability. Accountability keeps growth moving when motivation fades. It provides corrections, encouragement, and honesty without condemnation. We're not condemning you. We're only loving on you. That's what this Relentless Father School community is all about. Accountability turns isolation into progress. Turns it into progress. You can become this great father if you make the decision. Brotherhood. Brotherhood reminds fathers that they are not meant to carry this by themselves. And why do brothers remind you of that? Is because somebody walked with them. Somebody talked with them. It might have been a father that taught them. It might have been a grandfather. It might have been someone in the community that taught them. But somebody took the time out to teach them. And that's what we're doing with you. We're walking with you. Shared experiences create strength, perspective, and healing. You're going to hear stories. You're going to hear men who have gone and come through some difficult situations, but they're strong. Growth accelerates when men walk together with a purpose. When you know where you're going, again, they said I heard this say, one bird can fly a long way by itself, but a flock can fly even farther when they're grouped together and they're working in harmony and with a purpose. That's how we do in this Relentless Father's Army. That's what we do in this Relentless Father's Army school community. We want to engage you. We want to encourage you so that you can become the leader that these beautiful gifts that we call children need to see. Fathers, if this teaching has touched your heart, has ignited a fire under you, and you're saying to yourself, yes, this is the army that I need to be in. These are the group of men that I need to be around. Then go and take action and join the Relentless Father School community. Become a part of a group of brothers. This is a brotherhood. This is your tribe. These are the men that are going to gird you up and walk with you and encourage you to don't throw in the towel. Hook arm in arm with you. No man left behind. Again, we do not condemn you because we all got a story to tell. But if this has touched you, go and become a part of this community. And this lesson that we just had here, we go deeper inside of the community, inside that school community. We want to love on you. We're going to walk with you. We're going to encourage you. And you will not do this by yourself. You will get stronger if you don't throw in the towel. You will become a leader if you don't give up. When you use structure, when you have accountability, you can only go up. So, relentless fathers, you don't need to control everything. You need the right framework and the right support system. That's what you get in the Relentless Fathers Army School community. Join us today, and you will be led with calmness, with clarity, and consistency. Stay relentless. Peace.